So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can actually use Asana to start assigning tasks and monitoring tasks or to create a workspace for your client's podcast. So what you want to do is to first go to asana.com and then log in or sign up for a new account. And if you are using a mobile, you can also download the app. Just go to the Apple or Google Play Store and download the Asana app. And what you want to do first is to create your workspace. So I have already here my workspace, as you can see. And the next thing that you want to do is to add a project. So by default, Asana will ask you to create a project after signing up. So for this tutorial, I already created a project, which is this one. I named it the Workplay Podcast. You can name your project to the name of your client's podcast. So if you are working on multiple projects for a single client, you can also add another project by going to or clicking this plus button right here next to my workspace and then choose create project and choose this blank project. So now what you want to do is to create this type of tabs right here. So to see these tabs, you have to click this board option right here. Otherwise, if you want to use other options like the list, timeline, calendar, dashboard, you may also do so. But the easiest way for you to create and monitor tasks using Asana is using board. So you can create these tabs. We have the to do, doing, and done. But the way I do it, I actually add another tab. So I can create a new tab by clicking this add section. For example, I want to add a tab for all the credentials or the login credentials. So there's one place for you and your clients to see all the credentials. And you can just move it to the beginning so that it's so that you have your credentials, your to do, doing, or done. So if you want to create a task, for example, you want to create a task about client recording the first episode. Record first episode. So this task is going to be assigned to your client, of course. So for example, you have your client, you just have to invite them to this workspace by clicking on this section or button right here to invite teammates. So once they have accepted your invitation, you will then be able to see all your teammates and you can assign the task to that teammate or to your client. So let's just try to assign it. For example, I want to assign it to me, but just for this tutorial, I'm assigning it to myself. But in real life, once you have your real clients, you have to assign it to your client so that your client will get notified once you create a task for them in Asana. Then you can also add a due date here. For example, the episode needs to get published on a Wednesday. So if the episode needs to be published on September 1st, then your client need to create or record the episode prior to that, of course. So you want to leave a space or a date for you to edit and create the show notes and graphics. So let's say you want to add 29 or 30. Let's say 30. Now, when you click on the task, you can also add a description right here or the details about the task. And once your client was able to accomplish it, or once the client is on the process of doing it, he or she can just move the task to this tab right here, just so you could monitor that it's being done. And then your client can then just go ahead and move the task in the done tab and then change the assignee to you so that you will be notified that you are done or the client is done with the task. So you can go ahead and do the editing, show notes, and the social media graphics. So that's just about it. It's super simple. It's just a way for you to monitor everything for your client's podcast. So if there are other tasks that you need to do, for example, you need to set up a Calendly account for your clients so that you can start booking guests for the podcast. So you can create a task right here. So create or set up Calendly account. You need to assign it to yourself because you're the one who is going to do it. But if you are going to need some information from your client, like what's the email address that they want to use to set up the account, you can add those here in the details. Or you can also go to this comment section to ask a question or post an update. You can mention your client by clicking on this at mention button right here and then type your client's name so that she or he will be notified that you have a question about a task. And that's just about it for this tutorial. I hope that you learned how you can actually set up a workspace for your client's podcast.